Welcome everyone to Pineleaf Plays the Rune-keeper. During the supplemental episode, I cleaned out my inventory and now it is much cleaner. I also have the Stone of the Tortoise here, which is a little thing that keeps me from earning experience. I'm going to be using this whenever I'm running quests that are at below my level. The idea is to avoid out-leveling the content in the local area. So therefore I'll be doing the next few quests without getting any experience. I also plan to use the Stone of the Tortoise whenever I'm doing grinding or anything like that that requires me to run quests or kill mobs outside of what's being recorded. I'm going to try to get as much of the experience I earn on the display time, on the video time as possible. And outside of it, if I do any of that for deed grinding, for example, I'll turn off experience. Now, I also have this Hobbit present that's asking me to open it up. I plan to do that on another character I have on this server, since level 7 I think is a little bit low in order to be opening up a silver present. I usually start this around level 10, so I'll probably be opening that in a couple of episodes later. But for now, we have to talk to Carnivore and ask him what is going on. Why was I sent to him?
The sorrows of the Eldar are never ending.
Ah, hello there. We have not had time to get acquainted. My name is Carnivore, and you are? My name is Gondthon.
Might you spare a moment of your time?
I have heard that you are well traveled. Perhaps you have seen my son Averthal in your journeys? I received a message from him saying that he was coming from Dwelland to visit, but he has not arrived. That is most unlike him. In his journeys here, he oft speaks of the travels along the road and visits the vale of Ninhilith with a friend of his, a dwarf named Anthal. Anthal watches the road and helps the few dwarf travelers who come to Celadim. Perhaps Avorthal is speaking to him right now and suddenly forgot the time. Would you seek him? Head across the woods southwest of Celadim to the Vale of Ninhilith, and there is a small camp of elves there. If you do not find Avorthal there, perhaps you will find Athal. If so, speak with Athal and see what news he may have of Avorthal. Very well. Now, you will also notice that you have other quests within the area. For example, this is for the message of thanks from what I did here. Megavanen,
Swilad Melon.
your name is well known, Gondthon. It is not often that a hero of your stature visits me. I will honor you as Lord Dwelland honors you. Please accept these as a token of welcome of these lands. Speak with me again and look along my wares. You may find something to your liking, and I would gladly barter for what you desire. Alright? So therefore that got rid of the item there. Oh yes, they were probably put into my wallet up here. So in my wallet now I've got 5 tokens of salutation. I was wondering why nothing appeared in my inventory. So therefore, we have an available quest in defense of the forest, but first let's talk about the barter.
Megavanen, may I help you?
Now here's this thing called a novice's mark, which is a pocket item to give nice run speed. Well, that'd be all nice and well if I weren't using the Stone of the Tortoise to slow down the XP gain. So I'll just get some potions, even though I probably don't need them all that much. But I might as well do something with those tokens, rather than just letting them sit in my barter wallet. Now let's see what else he has.
Megavanen, might you spare a moment of your time?
Our time is closing in this land. Soon we will be but legend and memory to the mortals who will remain upon these shores. While we are still here, however, we must do what we can to ensure that these lands remain safe and beautiful. The preservation of the land is why I have come to the port of Celadim. My brethren and I have been looking into recent events in a glade in the north. I am here to enlist any willing to go there and assist us in discovering the sources of an infestation of sickleflies among the trees in the west and southwest of the port. If you're willing, remove the threat of sickleflies from the trees and report to Overlas in Ninhilith in the southwest. So my task right now then is to kill some sickleflies, and looks like they haven't improved Runestone if I do this, which is always nice to get. Very well. Now I also have this thing to visit the Crafter's Terrace, but I'm not going to do that at this time. I won't do that until I'm ready to start crafting. Now I'm going to be a tailor, and I have only 2 light hides, so there's probably not all that much. That's probably crafting. Yeah, that's crafting stuff. I might as well at least turn in the quest.
Stay a moment.
Welcome to Falathun. You can see the harbor city of Celadim up in the hill to the northwest, and the refuge of Dwelland is farther to the north. But I can see that you have a desire to fashion goods, to practice your ability to create things of substance and use. It is my recommendation that you visit my friend Guanlot in the terrace overlooking Celadim, where many useful and comely goods are fashioned. Go up the hill. Right, and Guanlot will be pleased to help you learn to begin your journey as a craftsman. Very well, but I'm not going to worry about that one until later either. As I said, there's not much really to worry about. It's taking me right by them. I have to go through this place in order to get to these sickleflies. Alright. Sickleflies should be up here somewhere, and then I need to go to the camp after that. And there's a sicklefly. Now the sickleflies are at level 7, so we are starting to get... And I'm starting to get deeds for my class deeds. For the things that I need to do, which are going to ask me to do certain skills. Humongous number of times. Prologue. That's at level 6. In Defense of the Forest. Yeah, alright, so I'm at level 6 quests now. When I start to get level 7 quests, that's when I'll turn experience back on. Now these flies, they have yellow morale bars. There are 3 colors to morale bars. Green ones are ones that are unattackable. You're not allowed to attack ones who have green morale bars. Usually the ones with the green morale bars are your friends, so you can't attack them for obvious reasons. But there are other reasons to have green morale bars. For example, if an enemy is temporarily non-aggressive due to certain dramatic elements or something like that, then they'll turn green temporarily, but then will turn red again. It's nice having more than one lightning skill that I can use now, since I can rotate through them, and by the time I'm finished with all 3 of them, the other one is ready. Though 2 of those skills are as a result of my specializing in lightning. Very well, that gives me... Well, that's all the ones I need. So I need to talk to Overlus, who is in Ninhilith, which is exactly where I'm going for speaking with that dwarf. No, I guess killing a couple extra flies won't hurt. Now, obviously it's not for XP, but it may give me a little few more things to sell. Now, if something's associated with a deed, of course, you might be a good idea to kill as many of them as possible as you're going along during your questing. And that way, if you decide you need to complete that deed at some point, then there'll be fewer that you have to kill when you start going around trying to grind a deed or something like that. Now, I don't think I'm going to be ultra serious in getting all of the virtue deeds complete on this character. I know if you have a main, but on your main characters, I usually find that working on your virtues is nice so that you have at least one character that's fully developed, so to speak, but I don't think that's required on every single character you have, unless you're a real completionist and have only a small number of characters. Alright, and here we have two people. First of all, let's talk to Overlast about some flies I just killed.
What can I do for you?
Megavonin! Laren had you fighting back the sickle flies? Good! It has become necessary to drive them out of the forest, lest they kill the trees. Your aid will be welcome here, for there is much to do. Of course, there's always much to do. Alright, let's get the stone here. Always helps to improve this, and both stones, the one I'm finished on and the new one, are both do lightning damage. I guess that's typical.
Stay a moment.
Your arrival heralds a time of hope. We have yet to discern what caused the wolves to empty into this valley. Perhaps with your assistance, we will soon learn the reasons behind the invasion. The two other glade wardens here, Gwalantha and Helthanel, will explain the tasks I set before them. See to their requests and earn their favor, and you shall earn mine. So essentially he's a vector to other people.
Might you spare a moment of your time?
Our efforts here are to recover the land from this new threat. That is clear. We are also here on the behest of our kinsmen. In Celadim, there is a vintner who wants only to make a final offering to store enough wine to survive our journey to the west. I have offered to recover enough wood to build such a cask. You will need to search for wood in the vale, for wood that is not spoiled by the sickle flies or the wolves. Return to me when you have collected enough sturdy pieces of wood. Alright? Fine. Wood useful for cask building?
Mind my words, traveller.
Megavonin, Rune-keeper, I overheard your discussion with Orvelas and hope that you will be willing to assist us. This vale was once a place of inspiring beauty that we could come and commune with nature. It has fallen far from these days since the incursion of these wolves. It is unclear where the wolves came from or why they chose to dwell in this valley, but it is clear that they must be removed to ensure that nature can return to its balance. Well, I would think that wolves being in the area means that there's lots of food there, and that is restoring it to its balance, but who am I? Enter the valley and destroy the wolves to ensure the future of the valley. Return to me when you have completed the task, and you would have earned my favor. Wonderful. So I had to kill 5 pieces of wood and kill 6 wolves.
Well met, friend.
Nay, I am still here waiting for Averthal. He requested I meet him here in the vale of Ninhilleth and has yet to arrive. I meant to enter the vale myself, but the elves bade me not to enter, and being that Ivarthol is not here to speak for me, I dare not risk angering them. I am sorry that I cannot be of more assistance to you or Lord Carnivore.
Welcome. You've come at a most fortuitous time.
It is not like Ivarthol to be late, at least not without sending word, nor to put aside his usual habits. Still, he has spent much time in contemplation in recent days. When Ivarthol desires solitude for quiet thought, he spends much time beneath the white trees of this vale. Perhaps he is amongst them now, unbeknownst to anyone. Would you go there and find him? I would, of course, but I shall not defy the will of the elves. Make your way to the vale of Ninhilleth and search for any signs of Ivarthol. Very well. And that gets us on our epic journey. I know it doesn't sound very epic so far, but we do start the whole thing by killing a wolf. Good thing Paranevara isn't here. Now, I now have a deed for killing wolves, and that will be incentive for me to kill more than just 6 of them. And the wolves seem to be near much of the wood that I need to collect. See, they're all nice and sparkly there. You pick through the woodpile and select a good piece of timber. Alright, that's good. I just need to find 4 more woodpiles, right? Now, of course, one of the disadvantages of halting my experience is that I only gain a trait point once every 2 levels. You search through the pile of wood and find only rotten timbers. Oh well. Not going to be as easy as I thought, right? So therefore, until I resume experience again, I won't be getting any more traits. Well, unless I complete some of those class deeds. I guess that's one point in which I could use the sustaining bolt. It seems to be less useful than the shocking words, but it has a, let's see, it has a shorter cooldown, and of course with the 20-second cooldown on shocking words, there'll be times where I need to use a cash out skill. Okay, I found a good piece there. That's 2 then. There'll be times when I'm going to need to use a finisher and not have shocking words there. Only rotten timbers. Alright, I am 2 and 2 so far. 2 good ones and 2 bad ones. And now pile of lumber. Rotten timbers. Alright. 2 and 3. Yes. Now, if I remember correctly, you need something like 30 wolves for this deed? Well, you could look at this quest item. Looking closely at this crude collar, you can see that this is not the handiwork of the elves or dwarves. Perhaps Overlust will be able to discern some measure of insight of the collar. You should deliver it to him in the elf camp. Right, so therefore I found a collar on one of them. So I'll accept that quest. I didn't realize I had that in there, so that's one reason why you should check your alerts, is just in case there is something there. And let's see which one. Okay, I have the exploration deed, so I have to explore a few places. Ally of Ered Luin, complete the quests in Ered Luin, which I need to complete at least 10 of these. That will give me a trait point, a virtue point there, and Wolf Slayer. To defeat wolves in Ered Luin, it looks like I need to kill 30 of them in order to complete that one. But that will open up an advanced version, which will require me to kill twice as many. And then there should also be some... oh yeah, class deeds. So I've opened up 3 class deeds, and I suspect that all 3 of these will make up the tier 1 class deed I need at some point. So I need Wrath of Flame skills. That means opening up with Fiery Ridicule will help me to complete that one, and I need that 500 times, so that'll take a while to complete. Use Fury of Storm skills. I'm constantly using those, so that one's going to be very fast to complete, even if there are 500. I've already used 76. And Thunderous Words, Strike with Scribe Spark, which is usually the first one that I'm using. And I only need 125 of those, so that one will go pretty quickly. So make sure I start with Fiery Ridicule so that I can work on that deed. Now at some point they're going to turn yellow, and I won't be able to do any more that day, but the method I'm using here, running only about 20 minutes a day, maybe occasionally having 2 sessions or something like this, but usually 1 session a day, 20 minutes. That's 4 good timbers. Is going to mean that I'm rarely going to have to worry about that tendency of turning yellow when you use too many. If you have 1 very long session a week, then you are less likely to... actually, more likely to run into yellow problems of getting that you hit the max for the day. So that's the thing you have to be careful of. Since this character gets relatively short sessions, I should be able to not run into that. And maybe finish them off at a relatively low level. Very well, that ends. Alright, that's all the timbers I need. That's all the wolves I need. I still need to find Averthal. And I need to bring the... alright, that's... so all I need is to find this guy now. Oh, there is a white tree. What's this? That's a goblin. What's a dead goblin doing here? Well, I don't think that the wolves were attracted to eat goblin. I don't know how much wolves like eating goblin flesh. But apparently they do not like being hit by lightning all that well. Alright, there's another white tree. Now these wolves have red. Okay, that's right, I was talking earlier about the colors of the morale bars. Green means friendly or unattackable for some other reason. Another goblin. So green means, as I said, either friendly or unattackable for some other reason. Yellow means non-aggressive. Now occasionally you might have some creatures that are curious and may approach you, and if you don't react they might attack you then. Some young bears have a habit of doing that. But generally you won't. And there are also a couple of non-aggressive creatures that if they see you start a fight with another creature, then they join in, but they won't start fighting on their own. Shrews have been known to do that, and wolverines occasionally work that way. Red means that they are potentially aggressive. Now, some of them are only half aggressive, in that they'll threaten to attack first, and then others are purely aggressive, they'll attack on sight. Now, here's a pack. See what this is. You recover a leather satchel. Right? Well, I guess we'll find out whether this is something that will give us a clue as to what's going on, since I didn't find the L. Now, perhaps water is not the best medium for attacking with lightning. Or at least the hardest one in which to control, because I was about to say an unlikely place for if you got a lightning attack, but then of course I remembered that in the real world, all the cases of creatures that use lightning attacks I can think of all live in the water. Things such as electric eels and torpedoes, electric catfish and stuff like that. Alright, and now here we are.
What do you need?
Nature calls once again from the vale, and I can feel it course through my being. We cannot rest on this virtue, but you have brought hope to where there was sorrow. You have earned my favor. Yay!
Megovanen.
Yes, this wood was certainly due. This should please the cooper and the vintner both. The white ship will certainly now be supplied with the finest wine from Ered Luin. Now, I think he
Will
just...
you lend me your ear?
Right, we'll take care of that later.
Megovanen.
You have done well here. You will keep vigil here at Nenheleth. I think now you will be needed elsewhere. We shall not forget you from what you have done here at Kelandim. Alright, and he gives me a hat, which gives me some extra vitality. And vitality never hurts. Well, looking at that hat does hurt, though. Fortunately, I can always equip it cosmetically. Alright, there we go. So that looks much better.
What can I do for you?
I know this handiwork. It is the handiwork of goblins. Okay, yes, the collared wolf. We must inform the others in Keladin. If the goblins have grown this aggressive, then we must do what we can to drive them back from our homes. Should I tell him about the goblin bodies I found?
Might you spare a moment of your time?
Alright, that's the next feeder quest. So I'm not going to worry about that yet until the next episode.
I am at your service.
This is Avarthal's pack, I am certain. I fear that something untoward has befallen my friend. Please, take this to Carnivore and tell him that I do whatever I can to help my friend, his son. So bring the satchel back. So therefore, next time I'll pick up these quests and return back to the starting port, where I'm sure they'll have other tasks for me. And until then, this is Pineleaf Needles for Pineleaf Plays, the Rune-keeper.